Today is the next installment in I'm Not a Lawyer, Do I Play One in Court? This is actually not where I went to court. This is a story of a case against a homeowners association several years ago, many years ago actually, more than 20. I had a homeowners association that was just rabid. They wanted to punish anybody they didn't like. And amazingly, they didn't like me. And the woman who ran the homeowners association, she had her own little fiefdom, and I didn't respect her authority, so I was a target. My wife's car caught fire and blackened the carport. It was an aluminum carport. Nothing melted, nothing burned. It was blackened. It needed to be maybe sanded and painted, or possibly just painted. And they sent me some bill for some extraordinary amount. I don't remember what it was. It was like $5,500 in the 80s, like early 80s. And it was ridiculous. I never paid it. And they came after me, and I had two condominiums, a two-bedroom, two-story, and an efficiency on the third floor. And the efficiency on the third floor had a screen door. And the president of the homeowners association signed an affidavit that she saw me put that screen door up, and I had not gotten permission from the homeowners association to do so. So they came after me. They were going to foreclose on my condominium for having put up this screen door without permission. So I sued them. And their lawyer was deposing me to get information to prepare for court. And he was asking me questions, and we finally got around to actually talking about the little condominium. And he said, "Do you remember when you bought the condominium?" I said, "Oh yeah, I remember it very well." "Now, are you talking about the first condominium or the second?" He said, "Oh, well, tell me about both." I said, "Well, I really remember when I bought the first condominium, that's the bigger one, because I noticed the sign on the door of the little condominium saying that it had been winterized. And I never thought that sign should have been outside. It should plaster it all over the inside. They don't want you to run the water or turn on the heat or the air conditioning or whatever, because it's been winterized. It's been set up for non-use." And I said, "I didn't think that sign should be outside. It should be inside." And he said, "Well, why didn't you just take the sign down?" I said, "You don't want to ask that question." He said, "Yes, I do. Why didn't you take the sign down?" I said, "You don't want to ask that question." He said, "Look, this is my deposition. You have to answer my questions. Why didn't you take that sign down?" I said, "You don't want to ask that question." And he asked my lawyer, who was there, and he said, "You need to instruct your client that he is under oath and that he has to answer my questions, and if he doesn't, he'll be found in contempt of court." And my lawyer, George Dana, very good lawyer, by the way, said, "John, you have to answer the question." I said, "Okay, what was the question again?" He said, "Why didn't you take the sign off of the door of the little condominium when you saw it?" I said, "Oh yeah, because the screen door was locked and I couldn't get to it, dummy." And my lawyer almost fell out of his chair laughing. And he told them, "He told you didn't want to ask." So then they came in and they said, they went out and talked for a while. They were not ready for that. I mean, because I had just testified that the screen door was on there before I ever bought it. And by the way, I had a letter from the previous owner where he'd gotten permission from the previous board, but we didn't even get to that. But so they went away and talked for a bit. They came back and they said, "So what would it take to get you to take down that screen door?" And I said, "A court order." And it was that fast. The question was, "What would it take to get you to take down the screen door?" "A court order." And again, my lawyer is just laughing to death. He's just having a great time. So long story short, they let me keep the condominiums. I took the screen door down voluntarily. They did away with all of the charges for the burning of the carport, which was like $5,000 or $6,000. I don't remember now. Plus all the penalties and all the things that they had tacked on to me over the years for the screen door and failing to comply and everything else. So I ended up getting out of what I legitimately owed them, which was a wrong amount. I mean, I might have negotiated that lower, but I got out of what they had a legitimate claim for because the homeowners association president perjured herself and wrote a letter saying she saw me put the screen door up. So I got to keep the condos, and I became the president of the homeowners association at the next election, and we cleaned out the board and straightened things up and got it much nicer than it was before. And there may be a story in the future about another homeowners association. I'm still in that one, so I can't talk about it. But anyway, more stories later. Have fun. Bye.